Alright, I think we're all in agreement that being taken over by robots isn't something that we want to happen. I prefer if we avoid the Age of Ultron timeline and just keep robots working for us. That being said, even if robots don't gain sentience and end up taking over our civilization, one thing that I think we've got to start preparing for is the inevitable fact that automation is going to make a lot of jobs obsolete. I don't necessarily think that's the greatest thing for the economy. I think stable, high-paying jobs that people can do out of high school is a good thing, and manufacturing happen to have a lot of that. But I think the inevitable truth is that we're going to see a huge amount of jobs being replaced by robots by the end of the decade, and I just wanted to talk about it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, come on, automation's still far away. They're going to still need some humans to work at places. And while I think, yeah, obviously, it's not like tomorrow everyone's going to be replaced with robots, there are a lot of jobs that are already being replaced. One of the biggest ones that I noticed was this one right here, which was a pretty big deal. Walmart just announced plans to remove all human cashiers from stores and go fully self-checkout by the end of the year, Positively Osela reports. According to the country's largest employer, the changed 10,000 stores will feature exclusively self-checkout or scan and go by the end of 2021. Wow, we wonder how this will impact employees. You know, that was written about a year ago, but sure enough, whenever I'm at Walmart, they don't really have cashiers anymore. And I know, Walmart cashier isn't necessarily the backbone of the economy, but still, think about it. That was a job that somebody had that has been replaced by a robot or automation. And if a company the size of Walmart is going to see positive results from switching over to these machines, then I could see a lot of other places following suit. We know that like manufacturing has become hugely automated. The assembly line has basically just got people standing there to make sure it doesn't break. And I think that's what people dramatically underestimate about automation is sure, Walmart at the end of the day is probably always going to need a human employee in the store to make sure things are running okay. They're always going to need one person there to run all the self-checkout machines. So it's not like they're going to completely replace us, but the amount of jobs that are available is going to drop a huge amount. I mean, really think about it, okay? You need one person to run 30 self-checkout machines. You used to have 30 cashiers at a time to run the same amount of registers, and then of course you had to have staff to change shifts and whatnot. So, you know, whereas you used to have 100 cashiers to fill all the shifts, people taking days off, all that stuff, now you just need like 5 people to run the self-checkout. So, you know, the human job still exists, but I think there's going to be a dramatic cut down in human jobs. And I'm just using Walmart as an example, but even think about, you know, fast food restaurants starting to use kiosks. That's probably 3-4 people each one of those replace. You start looking at everything else that's going to become automated, and you can see how jobs might become more and more scarce. Not because there's no human jobs, but just because you're going to need a lot less of them the more you automate everything around them. For a really long time, the backbone of the economy has been manufacturing and service, and I think this is just going to be a dramatic shift in the way the economy works that I'm not, too sure of how it's going to work out, really. For all I know, this might be the best thing since sliced bread. Maybe our economy has a huge boom because people have more time to start their own businesses and whatnot with automation. But at the same time, I think anytime you have a drastic change in an economy, there's some growing pains associated with it. But it's not just Walmart and McDonald's that are starting to put big money into automation and robotics. Hyundai plans $5 billion investment in U.S. on mobility technology such as autonomous driving and robotics. This is one thing that I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, that's pretty automation proof, but it looks like a lot of companies are starting to put money into it, which is self-driving is going to get rid of a lot of jobs too. Think about all the truck drivers. If I'm a company that needs to be shipping stuff, do I want a human that makes mistakes and can only drive 9 hours a day? Or am I going to pay to get a self-driving semi-truck that can drive 24 hours straight and never has sick days? When self-driving gets to the point that freight vehicles can be automated, there's another chunk of the economy going down, and it's not like there's going to be a huge plethora of jobs in any other place that's going to be able to take on all those workers because everything else is going to be automated too. On top of that, the more they get into robotics, the more they can just kind of slowly phase out people or drastically reduce the amount of people that they need. I think in the future, you're never going to see a job site that has 0 humans. Like I said, someone's got to oversee the robots, make sure their programming doesn't go all haywire or whatever. But eventually, when robotics gets to the point where robots can do construction and whatnot, there's probably going to be 2 dudes on the site watching the robots while the 30 robots take care of everything. The truck drivers are going to be replaced. Sure, they're going to have a few mechanics on staff, but compared to the thousands and thousands of people they need right now, it's going to be nothing. And I'm not trying to sound all doom and gloom. Like I said, maybe this would be a huge benefit for the economy somehow. I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to hate on robotics too much. I just think it's something that we're not necessarily thinking about too much as we're on this inevitable march to robotics. Is what are we going to do with all the people that robotics replace? Where are they going to work if every industry has a drastic decrease in the amount of people needed? Technology is going to do what technology is going to do. It's going to keep getting better. It's going to keep improving. It's going to keep solving problems because there's a lot of money to be made in solving problems. But maybe we should figure out what we're going to do with all the people that will be replaced by these robots before we just go all willy-nilly with it. Hyundai Motors said on Sunday it plans to invest $5 billion in the United States by 2025 to further develop mobility technologies in areas like autonomous driving, robotics, and AI. The investment comes alongside the automaker's recent announcement of a plan to spend $5.54 billion to build its first dedicated electric vehicle factory and battery manufacturing facilities in the United States located outside of Savannah, Georgia. The facility is expected to open during the first half of 2025 and is projected to have an annual production capacity of 300,000 vehicles. I don't want anyone to think I'm taking a dump on Hyundai because obviously I like the fact that they're going to be investing $5 billion to open a plant in the United States. They're going to have to hire people to run it, probably not as much as a car plant needed in the 1920s, but it's not the 1920s, that's 100 years ago. So I'm not trying to take a dump on Hyundai, I just kind of thought the article was pertinent to show you guys that companies are throwing big money at trying to automate things because they know that it's going to drastically reduce the costs. And on top of it, I think it's a good thing that workers are starting to realize their value. I think it's a good thing that workers are starting to realize if they band together, they can negotiate better with a company. But if you're the CEO of the company, robots don't organize. Robots don't go on strike, which I think also might be accelerating their push to automate things as fast as possible, which I'm not saying is fair. I don't necessarily love that that's probably something they're viewing as a positive. Oh, we can't exploit the workers anymore, switch over to robots, but it might be a part of that, and I don't think Hyundai is guilty of that. I'm not too sure. I'm not saying they're not guilty either. You guys get what I'm saying. I just think there's a lot of benefits to robots and automation that if you're the CEO and you're kind of just trying to make as much money as possible, not caring too much about the employees, they don't complain, they don't take holidays, they work 24/7, and you have to have way less people on staff. So I understand why they're putting so much money into it. Because, if Hyundai could run production 24/7, 365, it gives them a big leg up compared to everyone else, and it drastically reduces their costs. And I know people are thinking there's a lot of positions that will be safe, but if they start to lay off a drastic portion of their workers overall, like Walmart getting rid of all the cashiers, right? 10,000 stores, let's say each store had 40 cashiers on staff. That's 40,000 people that are gone. Well, guess what? You need a lot less HR people to deal with that when you lose 40,000 workers. Your legal team can be smaller. Oh, guess what? Your healthcare costs are a lot cheaper too, so you don't need as many people working there. It kind of has a ripple effect across the entire economy. When you have 40,000 people suddenly being unemployed, it's going to affect the entire company, whether or not you're a cashier. Which is why I think it's important to talk about. Even if you're in a job that's deemed safe by automation, you're still probably going to be impacted when inevitably a huge portion of the country just doesn't really have anything they can do for work anymore. And maybe all this innovation will lead to a different industry for people to go work in. Maybe everybody learns to code. Maybe everybody learns how to fix a machine or something. I'm not sure. I can't tell the future. I just think it's interesting that we're on this march to a lot of people being automated and replaced, and people don't really seem to talk about it that much. It's not like it's never talked about. I've seen people talk about it, but it is something that makes me a little bit nervous about the next 10, 15 years to see how it plays out and how it develops. It'll be interesting to watch, but I think that's going to do it for this little rant. I don't think I'm an expert. I don't think I'm a genius. I just thought it would be fun to talk about. This was the second upload of the day. That's right, back-to-back double uploads. So if you appreciate that, I would appreciate you guys taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to grind this again, okay? I'm going to try to at least upload daily. I'm going to try for double daily, but I probably won't last on that forever, let's be honest. But I will try my absolute best. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you missed the reactions and whatnot, I'm going to be doing them on this channel, so like I said, subscribe and turn on those notifications. But on that note, guys, that'll do it. I'm going to go try to invent a way to automate my voice to make videos as fast as humanly possible to collect the ad revenue. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.